Good morning, everybody. Jack Leeson with StartupTrading.com. It is 7 minutes to the open here on September 24th, and boy, did we had some really good action yesterday for the first time in a while. We had a reversal, we had a sell-off, and we started the day with some divergence where the ES was making new highs through the overnight session, and the Nasdaq was making new lows very quickly. So that was kind of one piece of evidence that one of these markets was going to give. And the thing to watch, I'm gonna just zoom. Let's just zoom in on like the first 30 minutes here. Okay, this is the first 30 minutes roughly in the NQ, and then the ES's first 30 minutes is sideways. If one of the markets is significantly moving directionally and the other market is sideways and overlapping, we're probably eventually going to make our way towards the direction of the market that's moving. And that's exactly what we did. So the NASDAQ was moving, the ES was not in the first 30 minutes, and then the ES finally started going with the direction of the NASDAQ. And I'm going to zoom in here on the NQ. I'm looking only at the regular trading hours right now. Yesterday, what was the all-time high to low traded in a 50% retracement, as well as this halfway back short for the day. Both of these levels completely blew through the negative 100 profit target. And then we, into the close, traded an extension from that low. Now, we're opening technically above this 61, and I immediately want to be aware of the full halfway back short and what would be that next traditional. Those are going to be my two levels um, of resistance above us. This extension at this point in time is likely to be broken. What we are at is the next traditional 24,877. And I'm going to throw on the extended session. You can see that so far in the overnight session, the midpoint, which is that higher level at 24,903, has been sold into. And we are going to be coming into this right at the open, that lower retracement. Now, if there is more sellers on deck, they are going to step in at both of these levels, as they really already have. You can see on that first test, that lower level last night, we traded it. And then on the higher resistance level, we traded it. No significant price action off of it, but that's what we've had. Now, if we flip the script and anticipate, where is support potentially coming from? And the one thing I would really be a buyer at is this extension we've seen trade. I'm going to go to daily chart actually. This extension that has gone through negative 23% profit targets. And if you adjust that new high, technically here as well, I'm going to draw this anchor from July 31st to the all-time high. July 31st to the all-time high. I'm going to hide this curve because I no longer need it. If we do end up trading lower, that is going to give me a support level at the 38% retracement, which is 24,000, call it 600 and 24,670 roughly. Okay, so that would be that first level of larger daily time frame support I would look at here today. Now, if we do end up going and breaking above the 61 and trading above 24,900 today and holding, I will then determine where this support has come from. I mean, this prior day low is definitely going to be something you're going to want to watch here today. But at this point in time, we're going into the day, and I'm actually going to just short this NASDAQ here. We're going into the day at the next measured move short. And if we can hold below this, we should get at least back down to the support levels around 24,820. So I'm going to go into the day short with an anticipation that we get that continuation. Now, if we, like I said, if we rally higher here, there will be, we could technically consider that break. There will be a long from the prior day's low to whatever the high is. There will be a long that sets up in that way. So that's what I got for the NASDAQ. For the S&P 500, let's delete these old draws here. Now, the S&P, if you guys remember, was stronger off the open yesterday. I would kind of expect more of the same here today. We're up about 60. We're trading 67.27 quarter. That full 50% retracement short is right above us. Is right above us. So if we were to just bid off the open, let's say buyers are in control and we bid off the open, then I would look for this series out of lows. So we had this halfway back to target. This was your next measured move here to target. If we just bid straight through 29s, I'm going to draw basically the 4 o'clock low to whatever that high ends up being and then look for that pullback. So we have had 1 day of selling. We'll see if there's anything else, but the thing to pay attention to is there any participation on these full halfway back shorts right off the open for at least a move down into potentially some gap fills. So that's what I got for the indexes. I think we'll have better idea where we're going around the 10 o'clock time frame. And then if we move on to gold and oil. Now, gold ran into some higher time frame targets, and the extension here in gold from the September 17th high to high is currently what we are bullish above in. That's a 37.84. If we for some reason can crack 37.84, I think we'll get a deeper pullback. But we have a battle between 37.84 and 38.04, which is the halfway back short. This was sold into yesterday, and it's being sold into here again this morning. And that would lead us all the way down to this 37.84. So it's quite a wide trading range for the time being. And then oil is really the cleanest trending market right now. Sorry, we're opening. I'm going to move my target down in the NASDAQ. Is the cleanest trending market right now. We had a reversal out of Tuesday. And then we've held these extensions to targets. We've held these extensions to targets. If we can come down and trade them again, I will look for that same anchor high. But oil is completely reversed here. I actually think the anchor I was using right here is 62.70. Traded once, traded twice. This is 3 times. And geez, we could run all the way up into $65 really before finding a reversal. We're staying super strong in oil. But indexes are open here, markets open. Let's move on and back to those. Gold selling off. So we're opening right on those shorts again. Opening right on those shorts again. And then selling off from them. You can see we right there on that ES. Here on the NASDAQ. What's that full? The 61,825. Okay. So come into the gap fill immediately. Or not. The most bullish thing we would see in the ES right now would be if this low to high holds. I'm just going to draw it. I'm not really interested in trading it. I'm short the NASDAQ from 24,877, which was this lower level of resistance. All right. Jeez, makes me want to drag my target. I'm up about, so we have 50-point profit target right off the open. Watch me jinx myself. All right. Great reaction. Come on. Eat her down. There's that ES level, like I said, that needs to hold for longs. Gold rolling over nice. What am I looking for right now? Man. Ooh. Come like a. How close? So close. I mean, we're only 5 minutes into the day. We have an ATR down. This is either really going to get crushed here or we're going to just zip right back to resistance. Because we broke an extension, you're going to want to watch the 78%. It's just 805s. The old 78 fade, break an extension, and then trade the 78% retracement. All right, here we go. Move my target down a bit. Move my target down to 24,812s. If we crack through 24,805, we're going a lot lower. Well, I'm greedy. Traded right to 26s so far. 10 minutes into the day. Should push lower. Yeah, that next level in the ES that I wanted to see break has broken. 10 minutes into the day now. I'll check it out. Thanks, Olby. Oh, wow. What a ripper off that traditional it traded. I know somebody pointed that out. I don't know if it was you earlier in the year. What a beautiful halfway back to target. That is a picture perfect setup. Look at that. I think, yeah, I posted that. There's the original post. Well, I mean, there was the first halfway back and then the second halfway back, but that's the most recent one. 70% move off that level. Kind of cool to like juxtapose charts like that. Gold, gold's going lower. Gold is going lower finally. That price action is bearish. Oh man. Excuse me. Come on. We're still going lower. Where you are. Well, no, there's clearly no buyer. I mean, no, it makes me think we're gonna go to this target. I don't know about in a straight line, but we are just sinking right back. If we don't hold the 78% of the range, then I mean, it was just a suction back to the bottom of the range. All right, losing that 61 finally. But yeah, this 78, like that's kind of that last line of hope. Here we go. All right, 60 points here. Pushing lower. Filled. Nice start to the day, mate. Who? Anybody listening who just took 60 points? and we went right through that 78. So we're probably going to this target. I mean, I would lay hands off shorts, but if that 78 didn't hold, which we just sliced right through it, we spent enough time kind of hanging out at the 50, then yeah, it's looking like we're going to targets. Now it's a matter of if we can get another short entry. Yeah, if gold gets back to 84s, it's kind of like a rangy up here. Everything closer to 38.04, I'm more interested in shorting. Oh, all right, let's see. I want to see where we are in 25 minutes off this. 9:15. It's a whole lot of momentum to the downside. I'm gonna go down to a smaller time frame, see if I can find a sequence in here. I mean, we're aggressive until we break. Let's see, traditional. Do a negative 100. Let's see, next traditional. Maybe the full halfway back short. I don't know if it'll trade here in the ES. 17 half. 17 quarter. We'll look at those full 50% retracement shorts in these indexes. Gold didn't get quite a fill. I didn't move my order down when we made a new low. At midpoint, sold into. I don't even know if I would have gotten filled. Got a six tick front run right now on my gold short entry. Placing new orders to short the indexes. Oh man, oil really looking like it's gonna break out. We're breaking out. Not making any sense. Oil looking like it's gonna break out. We're breaking out. If we can get a pullback in CL to 61.78, I am firing. Setting an alert there now, 61.78. Now we've kind of paused and we've gotten to the lower end of the range. Totally normal. Just to pull up. Gotta hit it and quit it. That does not surprise me. Stronger than expected new home sales. I believe that 100%. We get a rate cut, home sales go up. What? What a surprise. I don't think they realize how many people were waiting for rates to go down for them to move homes. People are landlocked in interest rates. I'm gonna move my gold back to like a O2. Moving my gold short order to 38022. All right. Almost filled there in the NQ. And here we go. The moment of truth. Wow. No fill. Pretty aggressive front run. Oh, it's just a pop. I don't know. That's good. Let's see where this goes, but came a few points away from getting filled. In both of those markets. Yeah. Got like a point away in the NASDAQ and a half a point away in the ES from getting filled on those shorts. Gotta stop streaming. You guys are stream sniping me, taking my orders, and they're watching what we're doing. Goldman's got me. They're watching what I'm doing. The market makers are sniping me. Going through an old stock list I have right now, and literally it's called hedge fund favorites, and like half of them got bought out. It's kind of funny. I probably made that list like 5 years ago, but it's pretty cool to see like all these names I had on the list bought out. Must have been a good list. Oof. Get stopped out on 500 lots. Gotta feel some type of way. Little fresh squeezed green juice. Something I do to keep myself healthy. We got cucumber, celery, ginger, turmeric. What else did I put in? Apple, lemon, homemade. Take about 3 cucumbers, 2 stalks of celery, 2 lemons, 1 big fat Granny Smith. Couple ounces there, man. There goes gold. Couple ounces of turmeric and ginger. Makes me about 5 servings. Do it once a week. Keep the skin clear. Keep the gut healthy. I mean, I am at home all day, so. I wish I got short gold. I missed a couple shorts there just by a few ticks. Like, in combination, less than like 2 points on 3 trades that have gone thousands of dollars the direction I anticipated. New low of the day there in gold after being front run by 6 ticks. Front run by like 4 ticks in NASDAQ, 2 in the ES. Dang. We're gonna roll over. We're gonna roll over. I'm shorting into the lows. It's 57. I shorted into the lows here. Into the lows. I think, I mean, that's just based on that reaction. We're back below that fair value gap, like we're instantly sinking lower. I'm going to use a 15-minute ATR stop. That should suffice. I guess that's 50 points. And then target, I'm going to target 66.90 in the ES. That puts me at not looking hot for longs. cancel that gold order at this point. Something to think about, that housing news was really positive. So we'll see if we can't get a bid off that. We're staying below these 78s. It's this 78. We need to lose the 78% retracement. We need to lose 24,806s in the NQ and 20 or 6707 in the ES. We need to close below that. Well, there's the another touch. ES actually trades the 50% there because I could have been patient, but sometimes when you see three trades come within 2 points, you get a little anxious, get a little phlegmatic. That's where I get FOMO, Ellie. When I have three trades front run, back to back to back, by like a total of 2 points. That's when I'm like, ugh, come on. Give me a break. But yeah, really, I mean, if what the Bears need to see is a push below these white dots I got here, 6707.5 and 24,808s. If we can lose that, we're gonna get that next wave lower, but I am short, not even from really good positioning, but I'm short 6713s in the ES average. 24, I'm basically short right here, 24,820s in the NQ. Gold still dropping lower. Oil still moving higher. We're about to be an hour into the day. It is almost 10:25, so let's see if we can drop it low here. The last touch of the 50% retracement in the ES was at the beginning of the 10:15 bar. So by 10:40, if we're not moving in the ES, it's time to go home. Time to leave. Time to say forget about it. So just because I'm not going to stick around in a position that's not moving again. I'll wait till we move and then re-enter. Check my calendar. Come on. Okay. moving lower here, and gold is approaching the bottom of the range. 37.84 is it's going to be the third time we've traded 37.84. I'm going to wait for confirmation. I'm not quite ready to take it out with like a limit order there. But let's see if we can lose these support levels. Ooh, a red bar in oil. That's a first in a bit. Just kind of building a wedge here. Not a whole lot. Just sitting and waiting. Yeah, we're either gonna just balance down here and be boring, or just kind of, to be honest, looking like what's gonna happen. It's just nothing really matters until we break those levels I have on my screen. Like You could stare at that screen till your eyes are blue, but here we go. There's the Nasdaq cracking that level. It means it needs to hold below. The ES is still above it. I want to see both, but if one breaks, usually the other one's going to follow. We saw that yesterday. The Nasdaq led the ES lower. And then even on this traditional here, the Nasdaq, there was divergence at 10:15. ES made a new 5-minute high, refilled the entry I was looking for initially where my limit order was, and the Nasdaq made a lower high. That's why you see on my screen that little bubble that says ES on the NQ. New high in the ES at 10:15, no new high in the Nasdaq. We're rolling over. If we can stay below these levels here in the NQ and get below 67.07 half, then we're probably on our way to targets. Come on, stay below. European markets have an hour. We're an hour into the day. We have an hour till European markets close. What am I talking about? Man, Tesla is such a beast. Heading back lower again. Ah, nice and easy. So my targets on my shorts, don't want to hear myself speak. Um, the ES, man, this is tempting. I'm just gonna use it right below. I do think we can go lower, but I'm in a little bigger than I want to be. So I'm gonna go in the NASDAQ from this morning's halfway back. 24,734 is where I'm going to target in the NQ. And the ES, I'm going to go with 92s. That's actually further. I might move that ES up to like 6,700. I mean, wishful thinking. That's assuming we're going to complete my targets. We still got a ways away. It could take a long time. But these trends just kind of do like yesterday, if you guys remember, we were extremely slow, doing a whole lot of nothing. And then all of a sudden, coming out of lunch, it was like that time frame switch. We started accelerating. We failed to get back above that level. We opened gap up, immediately sold first bounce, sold. We're spending time just building here, but if buyers run out, we're gonna get that stop run, take out that prior day's low, and move towards targets. Nasdaq weaker than the ES, same thing as yesterday. Yeah, I think I am just going to take a 6,700 target in the ES. We go one candle down in CL. Instabid. Right back at resistance here for the ES. Once again, no new high for the NASDAQ. Get another reaction here. Starting to get in a squeeze on this consolidation, which, I think really takes us, if we continue this squeeze, it's just going to take us back really to the highs of the day in the ES. if there's nobody home here. Could not get a continuation below that 6707 and really couldn't get it in that Nasdaq level, the 24,806. We'll see. We're running right into where we were at the close, and the Nasdaq is still weak, so that's kind of like the only hope that we just fade from once again divergence. Which we may. Which we may. Move my stop down in the ES to 6720 quarter. Nas or gold getting a new low of the day here. I'm gonna move my Nasdaq stop down to 24,850s. Actually, just above the swing high. So just moving some stops down here. If we come back up and push up, then I think it's just gonna kind of go dead in the indexes, and I won't really have much to do. I'm gonna take a long here and taking a long here in gold. Picked up a long in gold, traded down to that 37.84 support I was looking for this morning. Safer to wait for a break back above 37.89s, but gold's been so bullish. I would not be surprised to see this thing rotate all the way back up. It's gonna do it from anywhere. It's gonna do it from here. And if it doesn't do it from here, we're probably dropping another 20 points. And this looks like that was the fade in the indexes. So if we take out the most recent swing lows, I'll be moving my stops down just above that high. Been in these trades for quite a while. We haven't gone anywhere, but once you get some new information and price action, the only thing you do is like manage your stops based on the price action that we're getting. Because that sweep of the new high in the ES, and that once again we have the divergence where the Nasdaq is not getting new highs. The ES is pushing up into the new high. We saw this yesterday, and then we roll over. But that's a pretty decent new high there in the ES and in this reaction too. Where's my timer? 11 o'clock around the corner. back below that break level here in the NQ. So remember, this is the level I really want to see us crack, this 24,807. If we're back below it, but like we got below, we didn't stay below it. If we can stay below it in a continuation here, that's going to be a vote of confidence on continuing to hold my shorts to targets. Right now, I'm just kind of feel like busting out a yoga mat, start stretching on the floor with how boring this action is. But if you've been trading long enough, you know that a lot of it is just waiting. A lot of it is just waiting, man. Wow, what a monster bid out of that CL drop. We dropped for 5 minutes. We had a 36 tick range, and we're right back on highs. Oil is extremely bullish right now, trading very aggressive bids. See what that is. Just hanging out. About to close a fair value gap lower, which is going to give us some resistance right at that level we need to stay below. So my targets are lower in the NQ than they are in the ES because the Nasdaq is weaker. So if we break down, the Nasdaq's probably breaking down harder. And new high of the day for oil. So we have just fair value gap lower in the Nasdaq, solidified. Gold, if we can get above 37.89 in GC, that's going to give me some confirmation on this low and make me think we can trade back to what I'm looking. I'm just looking for 10 points. Just bottom the range trade from the morning trade plan. Look at that. Let's go gold. Just hitting everything, just chilling. Take a Tylenol. Let my autism peak. Call me the master. If you're watching on YouTube and you're not watching on Zoom, see my orders on the Zoom, and then you'll understand why I am absolutely leaned back in my chair. Because I'm not missing. Not yet, at least. If I trade all day, I'll eventually miss. Let's get that ES below 6707. Let's get that gold above 3790. Social media is wild. Let's watch the guy ride a bike through Afghanistan from my phone. Inspired me. I'm gonna go on a bike ride today through the south side of Chicago. It's quite literally more dangerous. Yep, my mom definitely took a lot of Advil. It's pounding the Advil. Here I am, staring at colors for 5+ hours a day. Oh, lower. Pretty high volume on that 3784 touch. I'm going to bring this into view here. This gold. Show you guys. I mean, I don't really, I overlap my volume because I just make it relative. I don't pay attention to volume enough to know, like I don't have, here we go. Like how many volume? That's 3,700 contracts. Like I don't know what that means relative. So I just watch it the relative. That's why I overlap it because it doesn't really matter how many contracts. I just pay attention to like relatively how large the bar is compared to previous 5 minute bars, and that's the hub. I think the touch of that 3784, which was in the morning trade plan. It's also that we barely took out the low. So what does that mean to me? Stops probably got hit, and then there was no continued sellers. There was just people with stop orders. So buyers hold that level again, and I don't know how high we're going to rotate here. I'm not looking for a huge move just because it's the third test. The first test is the best test. But like if we just traded back up to that midpoint, that'd be 37.98, which is about 15 points. Definitely can move this stop up in gold. Moving that stop up. Index is just cruising lower. We're going to get at some point, there's going to be that, we're about to take out the prior low of the day here in the NQ. We're about to get that 6707. There it is at the same time in the ES. So this is probably where we're going to get a little more of in that acceleration. There's in the initial consolidation, we kind of break down out of a wedge triangle pattern. Stops get hit. Targets in the ES 6700, 24,734 for the NQ. Come on. If they're going to stage a rally, it needs to be from here. Here we go. Come on. One more test there, that 84 for gold. See if we can swing back above this high. Mm. Come on. Siren's so loud. Nothing fast. Nothing fast. It's not going to be fast until I leave my computer, just like yesterday. It speeds up when I'm not here. So if you guys want faster markets, just tell me to leave. All right, I'm going to be shutting down the YouTube here in 10 minutes, leaving up the Zoom with my order management. I feel like I should close one of my index trades. I don't like that the ES held that. I'm going to take my ES off. Don't like that it held that 07s. We needed to get below that and we didn't. So just took it off for a couple points. Do, 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 do. This is where the NASDAQ should stop. I just didn't want to hold both I do still, if you're just short the ES, sure, stay short, but I'm short the ES and the NASDAQ. We're still going nowhere. Similar to how I felt yesterday, I just rather take one off than leave both on going into lunch. Because then I'm just stuck in a position where I'm taking either, like if we're moving, fine, but once I'm in a trade for like an hour, which I've been in this trade for an hour, I get a little antsy. I don't want to hold two trades, both of which I've added into, if we can't continue quickly. I'd rather miss the trade if that's what it ends up being, or just take it off for a small win, or if you have to, a small loss. If you're in, because they're the same trade, I don't need both those trades on. And I'm going to move my stop down here in the NASDAQ to 17s. So basically, they'll both be small winners if I get stopped out. But we're moving into lunch and just one of those days where there's not a whole lot going on so far in the morning. Could be again in the afternoon, just like we saw yesterday. We saw the market start to move in the second half of the day. Not until then. So if you're watching on the YouTube, jump in the Discord. I will be there the rest of the day, or at least until I'm done trading. You can see my what I'm doing on my Zoom. Tell you what though, on this hourly chart, it really looks like that Nasdaq's gonna roll over. That's a 4 hour. Hmm. May need to just jam higher first. I'm gonna take everything off. This is also a slow reaction in gold. I prefer speed. If taking my gold off for now. If we break back above 90s, which I was looking for, I'll look for another entry, but just a bunch of scalps so far. 5 in the NQ. Taking that off. Flattening myself. We'll look for new entries later on. You could trail too, though. We're still in shorts in the indexes. Gold, we haven't bounced high enough. We haven't broken the next short sequence. These indexes can definitely be trailed at these 61s. Um, I'm going to come back, probably start looking for new orders in an hour or so. We're either going to break down without me at this point of taking both my shorts off, or if we make a move higher, I'm still bearish even if we go higher, but it would just be a separate setup then. So, ta-ta, see you YouTube homies later.